Now look, sometimes you have to rake about for a bit of treasure, and here's a piece. Look at that, in the dirty water. These won't work at the moment, but they will when I've finished with them. Right, so you saw me pull these out of the rusty water, and they are in a state. And again, like the other ones, if you saw the previous video where I've transformed a pair like this, then you'll see that these don't move either, and I'll do what I can. So we're going to chuck them in the vinegar. In the previous video, if you saw it, that we could reuse this stuff time and time again. Don't use it on your chips, but it's perfectly all right to soak stuff in. Cover them up. And I was lucky enough whilst I was there to find one or two other pieces that I'm going to do the same thing to. And I've got some blue paint. I've done the previous ones in red, but I've got some blue, so we'll have a different colour. Got a nice pair of, they look like hairdressing scissors, these. They do actually move, but they'll benefit from a soak. Another pair of pliers. Still got the original rubber on it, but I'll cut that off. And these work as well. A nice pair of snips. Again, they work. I'll have to come and turn those over halfway through. Oh, and another pair. And they're not even seized. So these are going to look nice when they're finished. So, come back and see me in 24 hours. We'll see what we can do. Okay, well, I moved these from the jug that we put it in into this roasting tin so that the things would get a bit more coverage. They've now been in the vinegar for 24 hours. This is the one that we started with. It's already looking better just for soaking in it. You hardly need to do anything to it to get the rust off, but I shall give it a rub with the steel wool. And it doesn't take very much scrubbing at all, and you soon see the colour of the metal coming back through. It's not going to be silver shiny yet, but the rust is all gone, the orange is gone. Now this one is so tightly seized up that I'm going to have to tap it a few times with a hammer before I soak it even in the oil for too long. But there we are, already a lot better than when we first met it. I'll just have a quick look at these other things. The hairdressing scissors, I guess they are. Look at those. I won't say they're like new, but they're a sight better than they were when we first looked at them. The pliers have the original black on them, but I'm going to take that off. And another pair of snips that did work. And so, as ever, once we've given them a wash, straight into a bucket of soapy water, rinse off the vinegar. And we will use this vinegar yet again. Come back and see me tomorrow for the next stage. So they've had a good wash, scrub in hot soapy water after the vinegar, and now of course it's back into the roasting tin and some WD-40 all over them, a really good coat. All covered and coated, and now we leave them for another 24 hours and let that do its magic. And here we are, we've got the pliers now cleaned in the vinegar, and they've had the penetrating oil all over them and had a good soak, and look, they work. Once again, we've succeeded in making a pair of pliers work. Now all that remains is to clean them up. And here we have them. They're as clean as I want them to be. I'm not going to work on them too much. They're a very old pair, and I really don't want to weaken the metal too much. But what I will do is plasti dip the handles and make sure we can get those nice and clean. And so once again we've cleaned them, the handles anyway, with meths, and now we're going to prime them with red oxide primer. Nicely primed, ready to put the rubberized paint onto the handles. Now there's nothing happening here that I can't undo. I can take that straight off again if I needed to, but it just makes them more comfortable to use and easier to find when you drop them. The primer's now dry, looking good, so we're prepared to put it in the rubber paint, and it's 1 inch and count to 5. Now you can see again that I haven't gone right to the very top. That'll be reserved for the next coat and the one after that. Just let these drip a little bit. It's a lovely shade of blue. And now it's time to hang them. We'll give those half an hour and come back and do it all again. Now you can see the first coverage of these is not quite as good as when I did the red on a previous pair. It might be because you couldn't see the red oxide through the red paint so well, but anyway, I'll take it a bit more steady this time. I'll give it more than a count of 5 as I dip them for the second time. Once we've got it right, then we'll stop and we'll hang them up again. Plenty of time, no rush. Okay, well, these have now had 4 coats of the blue rubberized paint, and you can see the coverage was absolutely fine, just needed that extra coat. And the one thing left to do, as we did with these red ones that we've restored, just a dab of Vaseline on the exposed parts of the metal to try to stop it from going orange again. A little bit of a polish, and there we have a decent tool from the rusty wreck that we pulled out of the water. This will be useful for a long time to come. 2 settings, works perfectly. It's got a few bits of pit on it, but that really just adds to the character, I think. So there you go. One pair of pliers restored.